Commander Jiho Kim sat in his chair at the Luna Base monitoring station. The Earth hung like a blue marble in the black sky outside his window. He had been watching space signals for 12 years now. Most days were quiet. Ships coming and going, trade messages, nothing exciting. Today felt different. The computer made a soft beeping sound. Jiho looked at his screen. A new signal had come in from deep space. The computer was trying to decode it, but the words looked strange. Not human language. Not any language in Earth's database. Mina, Jiho called to Dr. Mina Park, who worked at the station next to his. I need you to look at this. Mina walked over and looked at his screen. Her eyes went wide. She was the best language expert on Luna Base. If anyone could understand alien words, it was her. This is not from any known species, she said slowly. The computer is having trouble with it. Give me a few minutes. Jiho watched as Mina typed commands into her computer. She pulled up translation programs and language patterns. The alien signal played again and again. Each time a few more words became clear. Help, Mina said suddenly. The first word is help. More words appeared on the screen as the computer worked. Under attack. Mining colony. Void hunters coming. Captain Taemin Cho walked into the room. He was in charge of security for the base. What's all the noise about? We got an alien distress signal, Jiho said. Someone is asking for help, Taemin frowned. Could be fake. Pirates sometimes send false signals to trap ships. Engineer Suho Lee looked up from his workstation across the room. I can check if it's real, he said. Every signal has quantum signatures, like fingerprints. Can't fake those. Suho ran the signal through his machines. Numbers and graphs appeared on his screen. After 10 minutes, he nodded. It's real. Definitely came from another star system, about 47 light-years away. More words appeared on Mina's screen as she worked. The message was getting clearer. Peaceful mining colony under siege. Void hunters consume everything. Strip planets bare. Need help from deathworlders. Deathworlders, Taemin asked. What does that mean? Mina kept working. More of the message came through. Heard rumors of predator species from hostile planet. Earth designated as Deathworld. Only Deathworlders might be strong enough to fight void hunters. The room went quiet. Everyone stared at the screen. They think Earth is a death world? Jiho asked. They think we're predators? Taemin added. Mina nodded slowly. According to this message, most alien species come from what they call garden worlds. Peaceful planets with no dangerous animals. No wars, no violence. They think Earth is so hostile that only the most dangerous creatures could survive here. Suho laughed. They're not wrong. Earth does try to kill everything on it. Storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, poisonous animals, diseases. The alien message continued to decode. It told a terrible story. The beings calling themselves the Kepler Syndicate were peaceful miners. They harvested crystals and metals from asteroids. They had never fought a war. They didn't even have weapons. Then the Void Hunters came. The message described creatures that moved like a swarm. They attacked planets and ate everything alive. Plants, animals, even the soil itself. They left behind dead rocks floating in space. The Kepler Syndicate had watched helplessly as the Void Hunters destroyed 2 of their colonies. They're asking us for help because they think we're killers, Mina said quietly. Taemin looked at the message again. Are we? Compared to them? Yes, Jiho said. Humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. We made weapons before we made art. We hunt animals for food and sport. The full message finally appeared on screen. It was a desperate plea. The Kepler Syndicate was broadcasting to every star system they could reach. They were looking for any species that might be willing to fight the Void Hunters. Most aliens were too peaceful or too scared, but they had heard stories about Deathworlders, species that came from planets so dangerous that violence was normal. Earth was on their list of possible death worlds. They don't want our help because we're advanced, Mina said. They want our help because we're dangerous. Suho pulled up star charts on his computer. The Kepler system is 47 light-years away. It would take our fastest ship 6 months to get there. By then, the Void Hunters might have eaten everything, Taemin said. Jiho stood up. We need to send this to Earth Command right away. Admiral Song needs to see this. What do you think she'll do? Mina asked. I think she'll want to know more about these Void Hunters, Jiho said. And I think she'll want to know why aliens think humans are predators. Taemin looked out the window at Earth. Maybe because we are. The signal kept playing. In the background, they could hear sounds of destruction. Explosions, screaming. The Kepler Syndicate was dying while they sent their message. How many species have the Void Hunters destroyed? Suho asked. Mina checked the translation. According to this, over 200 different civilizations. All peaceful. All defenseless. And now they want the predators to come save them, Jiho said. Question is, Taemin said, are we predators enough? Jiho started sending the message to Earth. The data stream would take an hour to reach the planet. By tomorrow, every government and military leader on Earth would know about the Void Hunters. There's something else, Mina said, still working on the translation. The message mentions that Void Hunters have never encountered a Deathworld species before. They've only fought Garden World aliens. What does that mean? Suho asked. It means they've never fought someone who fights back, Mina said. Every species they've attacked gave up quickly or ran away. They've never met anyone crazy enough to actually hunt them. Taemin smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. They've never met humans. The alien message continued to repeat in the background. Somewhere 47 light years away, an entire civilization was begging for help from creatures they considered monsters. They were asking the monsters to hunt other monsters. Jiho looked at his friends. Do you think we'll help them? I think we'll do more than help them, Taemin said. I think we're going to show the galaxy why Earth is called a death world. Outside the window, Earth continued to spin. A beautiful blue world that had given birth to the most successful predators in the galaxy. And now those predators had something new to hunt. Admiral Yuna Song stood in the war room deep under Seoul. The room was filled with Earth's best military minds. On the huge screen in front of them, the alien message played for the 10th time that day. Tell me what we know, Admiral Song said to the room. Dr. Hyun Kang stepped forward. He was Earth's top expert on hostile alien life. For 20 years, he had studied every dangerous creature humans had found in space. Now he had something new to examine. The Void Hunters are unlike anything we've seen before, Dr. Kang said. Based on the data from the Kepler Syndicate, they appear to be a hive mind. Millions of individual creatures that share one brain. He pressed a button and images appeared on the screen. The creatures looked like insects but the size of bears. They had 6 legs, sharp claws, and mouths full of teeth. They reproduce by consuming other life forms, Dr. Kang continued. When they eat a creature, they absorb its DNA. They can then grow new Void Hunters with the best traits of every species they've consumed. General Nari Lim raised her hand. How many species have they absorbed? Over 200 confirmed civilizations, Dr. Kang said. They've been doing this for thousands of years. Each time they consume a new species, they get stronger. Intelligence Officer Dae-sung Yoon stood up next. His job was to gather information about Earth's enemies. He had spent all night studying the alien data. Here's what makes them dangerous, Dae-sung said. They never stop. They don't negotiate. They don't retreat. They attack a system, consume everything alive, then move to the next system. How do they choose targets? Admiral Song asked. They follow trade routes, Dae-sung said. They capture ships, learn about other civilizations, then hunt them down. Once they know you exist, they will find you. Strategist Wan Ho-jang had been quiet during the briefing. Now he spoke up. There's something interesting in the data. Every species the Void Hunters have fought came from peaceful worlds. Garden planets with no predators, what does that mean? Admiral Song asked. It means they've never fought a species that evolved to hunt, Wan Ho said. Every civilization they've destroyed gave up quickly. Some didn't even try to fight. They just accepted death, Dr. Kang nodded. That matches what we know about Garden World psychology. When you don't have predators on your planet, you don't develop the instincts to fight back. But Earth is different, General Lim said. Very different, Dr. Kang agreed. Earth is what the aliens call a death world. Almost everything on our planet is trying to kill something else. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. We're designed to chase prey until it dies from exhaustion. Admiral Song walked to the screen showing images of the Void Hunters. So they've never fought anyone like us? No, Wan Ho said. They've developed tactics for overwhelming peaceful species. They use fear and shock to make their enemies give up. But those tactics won't work on humans. Dae-sung pulled up more data. The Void Hunters have one major weakness. They've never learned to deal with an enemy that fights back effectively. When a species resists, they just throw more numbers at the problem. How many are there? Admiral Song asked. Billions, Dr. Kang said. Maybe trillions. They've been growing for thousands of years. The room went quiet. Fighting trillions of alien monsters seemed impossible. Then General Lim smiled. Good. I was worried this would be too easy. Admiral Song looked at her. Explain. Think about it, General Lim said. These creatures have been winning for thousands of years. They've never faced real resistance. They've gotten lazy, confident. They probably have terrible security and no defensive thinking. Wanho nodded. She's right. The data shows they attack in straight lines. No fancy tactics. They just charge forward and eat everything. Because it's always worked before, Daesung added. Why develop complex strategies when simple, overwhelming force succeeds every time? Admiral Song was starting to understand. But simple tactics don't work against humans. Exactly, General Lim said. Humans have been fighting other humans for thousands of years. We've developed every trick, trap, and strategy possible. We know how to fight enemies that are bigger, stronger, and more numerous than us. Dr. Kang brought up images of human warfare throughout history. Look at our military development. Humans created weapons before we created art. We built fortresses before we built cities. War is in our DNA. The Void Hunters think like predators, Wanho said. But they've only hunted prey that runs away. Humans are predators that hunt other predators. Admiral Song studied the data again. What about their technology? Advanced in some ways, primitive in others, Daesung said. They have faster-than-light travel and biological weapons. But they don't use armor or shields. They don't need to because no one shoots back at them. They also don't use tactics, Wanho added. They just swarm their enemies. It works when your enemies are peaceful farmers and miners, but not when your enemies are humans, General Lim said. Admiral Song made her decision. I want battle plans. I want to know how we can hurt these things. And I want to know how we can hurt them badly enough that they think twice about attacking anyone else. You're not just talking about defending the Kepler Syndicate, Dr. Kang said. No, Admiral Song said. I'm talking about ending the Void Hunter threat permanently. If we don't stop them now, they'll eventually find Earth, and by then they'll have absorbed the DNA of every species we might have saved. General Lim pulled up star charts. We'll need a full military mobilization. Every ship, every soldier. Do it, Admiral Song said. Contact the other Earth fleets. I want everything we have ready to move in 1 month. Wanho looked at the images of destroyed alien worlds. The galaxy's civilized species have forgotten how to fight. They've had peace for so long they don't remember what war looks like. Then we'll remind them, Admiral Song said, and we'll remind the Void Hunters why evolution made humans the apex predators on a deathworld. Daesung brought up the alien message again. The Kepler Syndicate is asking for help from monsters. They are, Admiral Song said. The question is, are we monster enough to save them? Dr. Kang looked at the human military leaders around the table. Men and women who had spent their entire careers learning how to kill efficiently. I think they're about to find out. There's one more thing, Admiral Song said. When we fight the Void Hunters, every alien species in the galaxy will be watching. They'll see what humans are capable of. Will that be good or bad? Wanho asked. Depends on whether they're our friends or our enemies, Admiral Song said. Either way, they'll never underestimate a deathworld species again. The meeting ended with orders being sent across the solar system. Earth's war machine was waking up. For the first time in human history, they had an enemy that truly deserved their full attention. Somewhere 47 light-years away, the Void Hunters continued their feast. They had no idea that the galaxy's most dangerous predators were coming to hunt them. Fleet Admiral Kyung Seo stood on the observation deck of the Mars orbital shipyards. Below him, thousands of workers swarmed over hundreds of ships. What had been cargo vessels and passenger liners yesterday were becoming warships today. How long until the fleet is ready? He asked his assistant. 2 weeks for full conversion, the assistant replied. We're installing weapons on everything that can fly. Admiral Seo nodded. Other species built ships for exploration and trade. Humans built ships that could be turned into weapons at a moment's notice. Every civilian vessel had mounting points for guns. Every cargo hold could carry soldiers. Dr. Gina Bay worked in her laboratory 3 levels below. She had samples of Void Hunter tissue that the Kepler Syndicate had managed to send with their message, small pieces of the enemy that would help her design better ways to kill them. The tissue is incredibly tough, she said to her research team. Normal bullets might not penetrate their skin, but they have one weakness. She pointed to readings on her computer screen. They're connected to each other through bioelectric fields. like a wireless network made of living tissue. If we can disrupt that connection, individual void hunters become stupid, confused. Her team worked day and night developing new weapons, electromagnetic pulse grenades that would break hive mind connections, sonic weapons that would cause pain to creatures with enhanced hearing, chemical weapons designed to attack their unique biology. Remember, Dr. Bay told her team, we're not just fighting these creatures. We're fighting 200 absorbed species worth of genetic advantages. They might be stronger than humans, faster than humans, tougher than humans, but they've never fought anyone who fights dirty. Colonel Juan Park trained his Marines in the asteroid fields around Mars. The exercises were brutal, fighting in zero gravity, fighting in toxic atmospheres, fighting while their ships were breaking apart around them. The Void Hunters have never fought in environments that would kill most species, Colonel Park told his soldiers. They're used to overwhelming enemies quickly on habitable planets. We're going to fight them everywhere else. His Marines practiced boarding techniques, how to cut through alien hull materials, how to fight in corridors designed for six-legged creatures, how to plant explosives while being shot at. These things have been winning for thousands of years, Colonel Park said. They think they're invincible. We're going to teach them about human stubbornness. Commander Sioko worked with the surviving members of the Kepler Syndicate. 3 alien ships had escaped the Void Hunter attack and made it to human space. The aliens were amazed by what they saw. Your entire civilization is designed for war, said Kalis, the leader of the alien survivors. Kalis looked like a cross between a deer and a giraffe, with 4 eyes and hands that ended in soft pads instead of claws. We prefer to call it being prepared, Commander O said. Kalis watched human soldiers training. Your warriors practice fighting even when there is no war? Especially when there is no war, Commander O said. We train for battles that might never happen. The alien looked confused. Why would you waste resources on something that might not occur? Because when it does occur, we're ready, Commander O said. Your species didn't train for war. When the Void Hunters came, how long did your defenses last? 6 hours, Kalis said quietly. Commander O nodded. Human defenses train every day. We've been training for 6,000 years. The aliens provided detailed information about Void Hunter tactics. They attacked in waves. First came scouts to test defenses, then swarms of workers to disable weapons. Finally, the harvesters came to consume everything alive. They expect enemies to fight defensively, Kalis explained. Every species tries to protect their worlds and colonies. No one has ever attacked Void Hunter ships directly. That's because no one else is crazy enough, Commander O said. Humans don't just defend, we hunt. Diplomat Rena Choi worked with representatives from other alien species. Most were too scared to help directly, but they provided information about Void Hunter movements. The Trilary Republic has tracking data from 12 different attacks, she reported to Earth Command. The Void Hunters follow predictable patterns. They always attack the weakest targets first. What do they consider weak? Admiral Seo asked over the communication link. Peaceful species with no weapons. Isolated colonies. Anyone who might surrender without fighting, Rena said. So they've never attacked anyone who wanted to fight back? Never, Rena said. The galaxy's warlike species went extinct millions of years ago. Everyone left is peaceful. Everyone except humans, Admiral Seo said. Dr. Gina Bay made a breakthrough in her laboratory. She discovered that Void Hunter tissue couldn't regenerate when exposed to certain electromagnetic frequencies that were common in human communication systems. Our radios hurt them, she announced to the research team. If we modify our communications equipment, we can turn every ship into a weapon against their healing abilities. Colonel Park's Marines developed new tactics based on the alien intelligence. Instead of trying to defend positions, they would attack constantly. Keep the Void Hunters off balance. Never let them establish the overwhelming numbers they were used to. Hit-and-run attacks, Colonel Park explained to his officers. We hurt them and disappear before they can respond. Traditional human guerrilla warfare. Will that work against billions of enemies? One officer asked. It worked against larger human armies for thousands of years, Colonel Park said. The Void Hunters might have numbers, but they don't have experience dealing with enemies who refuse to fight fair. Commander O learned something interesting from the alien survivors. The Void Hunters had a rigid hierarchy: scouts, workers, warriors, and queens. If you killed the queens, entire swarms became disorganized. Their greatest strength is also their weakness, he reported to Earth Command. They think as one mind, but that means they can't adapt quickly when their leaders are eliminated. Admiral CO studied the battle plans coming together. Human ships would use speed and maneuverability to avoid direct confrontation with larger Void Hunter swarms. They would target communication nodes and leadership creatures. Most importantly, they would never fight the way the Void Hunters expected. Every species they've fought has tried to protect something, Admiral CO said during a strategy meeting. Their homeworld, their colonies, their people. That makes you predictable. What's our approach? Asked General Lim over the communication system. We're not protecting anything, Admiral CO said. We're hunting. Predators don't defend territory. They hunt prey wherever they find it. The fleet preparation continued around the clock. Ship crews trained together. New weapons were tested and installed. Battle plans were refined and practiced. Kalis watched human preparations with fascination and horror. Your species enjoys the idea of fighting the Void Hunters. We enjoy the challenge, Commander O said. Humans have always wanted to test themselves against the biggest, strongest, most dangerous opponent possible. And if you lose? Then we lose fighting, Commander O said. But we won't lose. The Void Hunters have never fought anyone like us. What makes humans different? Commander O smiled. We're the only species in the galaxy that evolved specifically to kill things that are bigger and stronger than we are. The Void Hunters are about to learn why Earth is called a deathworld. In 2 weeks, the largest human fleet in history would depart for the Kepler system. They carried the hopes of peaceful alien species across the galaxy. More importantly, they carried the concentrated fury of Earth's apex predators. The hunt was about to begin. Captain Borum Lee stared at the screens showing the Kepler system. 3 planets that once held billions of aliens were now gray, lifeless rocks. The Void Hunters had stripped them completely bare. No plants, no animals, not even bacteria remained. 2 planets left, reported Lieutenant Jun-Soo from the navigation station, detecting massive Void Hunter activity around both worlds. The human fleet had traveled for 6 months to reach this place. 1,200 ships carrying Earth's finest warriors. Now they faced an enemy that had never lost a battle. Orders from Admiral Kwan, said Communications Officer Hanako. All ships maintain stealth approach. We observe first. Captain Lee studied the tactical display. Thousands of Void Hunter ships swarmed around the 2 remaining planets. The creatures' vessels were organic, looking more like giant insects than traditional spacecraft. They pulsed with bioluminescent lights as they coordinated their attacks. They're not expecting us, observed Lieutenant Sue. No defensive formations, no scouts watching the system edge. Why would they? Captain Lee said. They've never been attacked before. Dr. Minho Shin, the fleet's xenobiologist, watched the Void Hunter ships through his instruments. Fascinating. They're operating as a single organism. Every ship moves in perfect coordination with every other ship. That's their strength, Captain Lee said. And hopefully their weakness. Admiral Taiho Kwan's voice came over the fleet communication system. All ships, this is Admiral Kwan. Today we make first contact with an enemy that has destroyed over 200 civilizations. They expect us to run or surrender. Instead, we're going to show them what happens when they meet Earth's children. The plan was simple. Hit the Void Hunters hard and fast before they could organize a response. Human ships would use their speed advantage to strike at leadership vessels, then disappear before the swarms could react. Attack formation spear point, Admiral Kwan ordered. Fast attack craft lead. Heavy ships provide support. Remember, we're not trying to win a fair fight. We're trying to start a war. Captain Lee's ship, the Soul Thunder, was part of the first wave. 24 fast attack craft would punch through the Void Hunter perimeter and target their command ships, all weapons armed. Reported Weapons Officer Dabin. Electromagnetic pulse torpedoes loaded. Disruption field generators ready. Take us in, Captain Lee ordered. The human ships accelerated toward the Void Hunter swarm. At first, the aliens didn't react. They had never been attacked in their own territory. The concept was foreign to their hive mind. Then the shooting started. Human weapons were designed specifically to hurt Void Hunters. Electromagnetic pulses disrupted their hive mind connections. Sonic weapons caused agony to their enhanced nervous systems. Kinetic rounds punched through their unarmored hulls. Direct hit on target Alpha, Lieutenant Sue reported. Their command ship is breaking apart. The Void Hunter response was immediate and chaotic. Thousands of ships turned toward the human attack force, but they moved like they were confused. Without their command vessel, individual ships didn't know what to do. "They're trying to surround us," reported Lieutenant Su. "Let them try," Captain Lee said. "All ships execute Broken Arrow protocol." The human attack craft split apart in different directions. Instead of staying in formation, they scattered like leaves in the wind. Each ship began independent attacks on separate targets. The Void Hunters had never seen tactics like this. Every enemy they had fought stayed in defensive formations. These humans were attacking from every direction at once. "Secondary target destroyed," reported Weapons Officer Yu. "That's 2 command ships down." Captain Lee watched as Void Hunter ships tried to chase his scattered attack craft. The aliens were faster in straight lines, but human ships could turn and accelerate in ways that confused the hive mind. "They're learning our patterns," Dr. Shin observed. "The hive mind is adapting." "Then we change patterns," Captain Lee said. "All ships implement chaos theory." The human ships began random attack runs. No coordination, no predictable movements. Each captain made independent decisions about targets and tactics. It was the opposite of everything military training taught, but it worked against an enemy that expected organized resistance. Lieutenant Jun Su made a decision that would become legendary. His ship was damaged and losing power. Instead of retreating, he aimed his fighter directly at a Void Hunter battleship. "Jun, what are you doing?" Captain Lee asked over the communication system. "They want to eat us," Lieutenant Su replied. "Let's give them indigestion." His ship struck the alien vessel at full speed. The explosion destroyed both ships, but it also released electromagnetic energy that disrupted every Void Hunter within 50 kilometers. The hive mind experienced something it had never felt before. Confusion mixed with something approaching fear. Marine Captain Yejin Nam led the first boarding action in galactic history. Her transport ship attached itself to a damaged Void Hunter vessel like a parasite. Then her Marines cut their way inside. "These corridors are designed for 6-legged creatures," she reported to Admiral Kwan. "Gives us an advantage in close combat." The Void Hunters had never fought inside their own ships. No enemy had ever been brave enough or crazy enough to board their vessels. Captain Nam's Marines used every dirty fighting technique humans had developed over thousands of years. Knives when their guns ran out of ammunition. Fists when their knives broke. Teeth when they had nothing else left. "The aliens don't know how to fight in close quarters," Captain Nam reported. "They're designed for overwhelming opponents at long range. Hand-to-hand combat confuses them." Admiral Kwan watched the battle reports coming in from across the fleet. Humans were taking heavy losses, but they were hurting the Void Hunters in ways the aliens had never experienced. "Their tactics are changing," reported his tactical officer. "They're trying to surround individual human ships with overwhelming numbers." "Classic mistake," Admiral Kwan said. "They think bigger numbers always win." He activated the fleet communication system. "All ships implement Berserker Protocol. Damaged vessels are authorized for ramming attacks." Commander Yunji Kwan commanded a heavy cruiser that had lost most of its weapons. When Void Hunter ships surrounded her vessel, she made a choice that epitomized human military thinking. "All crew to escape pods," she ordered. "Set the reactor to overload." Her ship became a guided missile aimed at the center of the Void Hunter formation. The explosion destroyed 15 alien vessels and created an electromagnetic field that disrupted the hive mind for light minutes in every direction. Dr. Shin studied the battle from his position on Admiral Kwan's flagship. The Void Hunters are experiencing something they've never encountered. Individual ships are starting to flee the battle. "Flee?" Admiral Kwan asked. "That's impossible. The data says they never retreat." "The data was based on fighting Garden World species," Dr. Shin said. "No one has ever hurt them badly enough to trigger a retreat response." But the Void Hunter hive mind couldn't process the concept of retreat. They either consumed everything or were consumed. There was no middle ground in their psychology. This confusion created opportunities for human commanders. Captain Lee led his remaining attack craft against a cluster of Void Hunter ships that were trying to flee and fight at the same time. "They can't decide what to do," he reported. "Half their ships are advancing, half are retreating. They're getting in each other's way." The battle lasted 18 hours. When it ended, the human fleet had lost 200 ships, but they had destroyed over 3,000 Void Hunter vessels, including most of the command structure in the system. More importantly, they had proven something that changed the balance of power in the galaxy. The Void Hunters could be hurt. They could be confused. They could be beaten. "This is Admiral Kwan to all human ships," came the announcement. "Phase 1 is complete. The enemy now knows we exist. Phase 2 begins tomorrow." "What's Phase 2? Captain Lee asked. "We hunt them down," Admiral Kwan replied. "Every ship, every swarm, every nest they have. We're going to show them what happens when you threaten a Deathworld species." Dr. Shin looked at the tactical displays showing Void Hunter ships scattered across the system. "They've never faced an enemy that got stronger when hurt." "They have now," Captain Lee said. "And they're about to learn why humans are the apex predators in this galaxy." The first battle was over. The war for the galaxy's survival had just begun. Supreme Commander Insu-ju stood on the bridge of the UES Predator, watching the final Void Hunter homeworld burn in the void. 6 months of relentless hunting had brought the human fleet here, to the heart of an empire that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. "Status. Report," he said to his staff. "All Void Hunter orbital. Structures destroyed," reported Captain Sora Yu. "Their fleet is scattered across 12 star systems. Pack Hunter squadrons are tracking down the survivors." It had taken 6 months to reach this point. 6 months of the most brutal warfare the galaxy had ever seen. But it wasn't the Void Hunters who had proven to be brutal. The war had changed after that first battle in the Kepler system. Word spread across the galaxy that the Void Hunters could be defeated. Species that had hidden for centuries began to emerge from their hiding places. Ancient civilizations that had gone into stasis to wait for the Void Hunters to pass came back to life. All because humans had done something unthinkable. They had hunted the Hunters. Admiral Junho Moon commanded the North Fleet, chasing Void Hunter remnants through the Outer Rim systems. His ships moved like wolves, never giving the enemy time to rest or regroup. "Target acquired in the Zerian system," reported his tactical officer. "Void Hunter colony ship with escort fleet." "Intercept course," Admiral Moon ordered. Standard pack tactics. Surround them, separate them, eliminate them one by one. The Void Hunters had learned to fear human tactics. Humans didn't fight like civilized species. They fought like wild animals. They bit and clawed and refused to die cleanly. Worse, humans seemed to enjoy the fighting. "The Void Hunter ship is requesting communication," the tactical officer reported. "Put them through," Admiral Moon said. The alien voice that came through the speakers was filled with something the Void Hunters had never experienced before. Desperation, human ships. "We offer terms for surrender," Admiral Moon laughed. "You don't understand. We don't want your surrender. We want your extinction." The communication cut off. The Void Hunter ships tried to run, but human ships were faster and more maneuverable. Within 2 hours, another Void Hunter colony was nothing but debris floating in space. General Ariam Kim worked at Earth Command, coordinating with dozens of alien species that had joined the war. The galaxy was experiencing something it hadn't seen in millions of years. Organized resistance against a galactic threat. "The Trilari Republic has committed their entire fleet," she reported to the Command Council. "The Zephyr Coalition is providing logistics support. Even the peaceful gardeners are manufacturing weapons." "Weapons?" asked Admiral Song over the communication link. "I thought they were pacifists." "They were," General Kim said, "until they saw what humans were willing to do to protect them. Now they want to learn how to fight." The transformation of the galaxy was remarkable. Species that had never held weapons were learning military tactics from human instructors. Civilizations that had forgotten the concept of war were building defense fleets. Ambassador Hajin Jung negotiated what would become known as the Terran Compact. It was a simple agreement. Humanity would serve as the galaxy's military protectors in exchange for technological and cultural sharing. Other species build better computers, faster ships, more efficient energy systems, Ambassador Jung explained to Earth's leaders. But only humans know how to use those tools for war. The alien reaction to human military capabilities had been a mixture of gratitude and terror. Humans saved them from the Void Hunters, but they also showed the galaxy what a truly warlike species could accomplish. "They call us the Deathworld Guard now," Ambassador Jung said. "Some species pray to us. Others are afraid of us. All of them respect us." Captain Sora Yu had become the most feared human commander in the galaxy. Her pack hunter squadrons never let Void Hunter survivors escape. They tracked fleeing aliens across multiple star systems, hunting them with the persistence that had made humans the apex predators on Earth. Last confirmed Void Hunter. Nest located in the Omega Sector, she reported to Supreme Commander. Estimated population, 50 million individuals. Eliminate them, Supreme Commander Ju said without hesitation. Sir, that's an entire planet's worth of creatures. They eliminated 200 civilizations, Supreme Commander Ju said. Today we finish what they started. The final battle took place above the Void Hunter homeworld. The planet itself was a living organism, pulsing with the combined consciousness of billions of absorbed species. It was beautiful and horrible at the same time. Fleet Admiral Sunho Ban led the assault with the largest human fleet ever assembled. Ships from 50 alien species fought alongside human vessels. For the first time in galactic history, the prey species were hunting their ancient predator. The planet is fighting back, reported his tactical officer. It's launching biological weapons, trying to seed our ships with parasites. Deploy countermeasures, Admiral Ban ordered. Dr. Bay's anti-biological weapons should neutralize their attacks. The battle was unlike anything in recorded history. The Void Hunter homeworld fought like a wounded animal, lashing out with tendrils of living matter that could destroy entire ships. But human engineers had designed weapons specifically for this moment. Electromagnetic pulse warheads disrupted the planet's nervous system. Sonic weapons caused agony to its enhanced sensory organs. Chemical weapons attacked the biological processes that kept it alive. Slowly, inevitably, the living planet began to die. Bioelectric activity decreasing, reported the science officer. The planetary consciousness is fragmenting. All ships, final bombardment, Admiral Ban ordered. End this. The combined fleet fired everything they had at the dying world. Kinetic weapons, energy beams, plasma charges, and exotic matter warheads. The Void Hunter homeworld convulsed once, then went still. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy was free of the Void Hunter threat. Historian Guyan Chung would later write that the Void Hunter War marked the beginning of a new galactic age. An age where peaceful species no longer had to fear extinction, because the Deathworlders were watching. Humanity became something unique in galactic history, she wrote. The first species to evolve on a hostile world that chose to protect rather than conquer. They were monsters who defended angels. The aftermath of the war changed everything. Human military academies opened on dozens of worlds, teaching alien species how to defend themselves. The phrase, "never anger a Deathworlder," became common wisdom throughout the galaxy. But some alien leaders worried about what humanity might become. They had seen what humans could do when motivated by righteous anger. What would happen if humans ever decided they wanted to rule instead of protect? Supreme Commander Ju addressed these concerns at the signing of the Terran Compact. "We didn't fight the Void Hunters to become conquerors," he said to the assembled alien representatives. "We fought them because someone had to, because no one else could." "How do we know you won't become like them?" asked the representative from the Trilari Republic. "Because we remember what it's like to be prey," Supreme Commander Ju said. "Every human child learns about the predators that once hunted our ancestors. We know what it means to be afraid. We won't become what we've spent our entire existence fighting against." Years later, when the galaxy was safe and prosperous, alien children would learn about the Void Hunter War in their schools. They would learn about the peaceful species that cried out for help, and the Deathworld predators who answered that call. They would learn that sometimes the most dangerous monsters are the ones who choose to protect instead of destroy. And they would learn that when the galaxy needed salvation, it came from the most unlikely source, a small blue planet where evolution had created the perfect hunters, who chose to hunt only those who threatened the innocent. Earth's children had kept their promise. The galaxy was safe, and it would remain safe as long as the Deathworlders were watching. The age of the Void Hunters was over. The age of the Deathworld Guard had begun.